High school is a jungle. It hosts all sorts of weird and wonderful creatures, most of whom seek out other members of their species, knowing there is safety and strength in numbers. They move about in herds, generally minding their own business and keeping out of each other's ways. On the edge of these packs, there are harmless, docile creatures who belong to no herd in particular and are easy pickings for the cold-blooded killers that lurk in the shadows. My name is Sharon Burns. I've never had a herd. I've always been a target. Being at the pointy end of the jungle food chain, I used to make it my business to keep a low profile. Flashy behaviour, smart-ass comments, trendy accessories. That was how you drew attention to yourself. That was how you got hurt. Of course, even with my cautious nature, I was still at risk. There are some predators who actually sought out prey like me. Evil, heartless predators who believed that the smarter the person they tormented, the smarter they were. Predators like Carla Dietrich. She was the uber bully of my high school. Teachers loathed her, bad boys loved her, nerds feared her, and for some reason, she saved her most thoughtless and violent behaviour for yours truly. I don't know why she had me locked in her sights, but it made my educational experience a living hell. There was no point in squealing. That just encouraged retribution. No one could save you out there. If you wanted something done about the bitter, excruciating injustice the schoolyard handed out, you had to do it yourself. I fondly remember the day I snapped. I just discovered the jar of mayonnaise Carla Dietrich had humorously tipped in my bag. But instead of following my usual routine of slinking off to the quiet area of the playground, I did something quite different. The following day, I summoned an emergency meeting of all the dorks, misfits, and unmentionables I could find. It was slightly embarrassing, admitting this mob of losers was my peer group, but the fact was we all had a shared problem, and I had the only solution. Naturally, as soon as I mentioned a hitman, the nerds all got nervous. They were all Bodhi. "Sure, we hate Carla, but we aren't going to pay someone to kill her." I told them to shut up. I said Carla Dietrich was a pest that had infested all of our lives, a pest that had to be exterminated, and I had found the man who would make it happen. I got Colin's name from my older brother. He said he had a despicable reputation around town, which sounded like a pretty good reference to me. A couple of my colleagues were a bit put off by his office, but I told them blokes in Colin's line of work didn't rent out floor space next to Just Jeans at the mall. Anyway, Colin talked the talk, and soon everyone was won over by his professionalism. In the end, everyone was happy to fork over their share of cash in what was ultimately a user-pays service. The very next day, Carla Dietrich wasn't at school. I was exhilarated but nervous. Had she just wagged for the day, or had Colin taken care of business? I need not have worried. The dopey ape wasn't at school the day after, or the day after that. And on Friday, it was reported that human remains had been discovered in a shallow grave on the outskirts of town. Police said that the body was so mangled it was difficult to identify, but they suspected it was that of missing local schoolgirl, Carla Dietrich. You'd think I might have suffered a few pangs of guilt at that stage in proceedings, but you'd be way off the mark. Sure, I hadn't counted on Colin going all Hannibal Lecter on Carla's body, but who cares? I had a problem. I solved it. Big deal. It seemed my co-conspirators were on the same page. In fact, we were all so ecstatic we threw a little shindig over at my place to celebrate Carla's untimely passing. There was a bit of music, a bit of dancing. You could almost say it was the happiest moment in all our lives. But that was until exactly 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, when we saw a news bulletin on TV. Police forensics had confirmed the identity of the body discovered on Friday. It was Colin.
You are so dead.